Today we're at Cedar Creek Battlefield. The 54th Pennsylvania camped in this area following the burning. The regiment, along with the rest of the Army of West Virginia, held the extreme left of the entire Army of the Shenandoah. Before dawn on October 19th, in a fog so thick it was difficult to distinguish a figure standing face to face, the Confederates crossed Bowman's Ford, which was just down this dirt road directly in front of us, and enclosed to within a few paces of the Federal entrenchments. They're a little hard to see today, but the entrenchments follow this tree line here that's on this gravel road. So the Confederates would have come up these fields here to our front. They heard some of the Federal soldiers talking and could see a few trying to rebuild their dying fires. The Confederates fired a volley. After screaming the rebel yell, they charged into a gap in the Federal entrenchments about where we're at right now, between Colonel Wild's and Colonel Thomas Harris's brigades. Sergeant Marshall Van Scoten remembered at 4 a.m., while the soldiers were shivering around their fires, the boys, all unconscious of danger, told their stories and smoked their pipes. Suddenly, like the shriek of an unthrottled steam engine, they were startled by a demoniacal yell on the right at the redoubts. The men realized the full import of the alarm, sprang to arms, and rushed to full tilt to defend their breastworks. General Kershaw's Confederates spilled over the unoccupied portion of the line assigned to the 54th Pennsylvania. The men heard the picket fire, but did not have enough time to reach the entrenchments. Captain John Sutter, in command of the 54th Pennsylvania, heard the firing on the picket line and ordered the regiment to turn out under arms, which was done by the companies forming in their quarters and afterwards marching up to the breastwork in our front. Captain Sutter formed the regiment and moved as many men forward to try and man their positions, but the tiny regiment ran into an overwhelming wave of Confederates before they reached their earthworks. Captain Sutter ordered the 54th Pennsylvania to open fire on the Confederates in the fields here and in their works to our front. The men opened and maintained a fire. Sergeant Van Scoten recalled it being too dark to see the enemy in front, only by the flash of their rifles. While the men tried to hold their ground, the regiment's acting adjutant, Lieutenant Joseph Peck, walked up and down the line, urging the men to do their duty. It did not take long before the Confederates started to surround the 54th Pennsylvania and attack the regiment's rear from the extreme left of the line of works, just down this road here a little bit. The stunned men faced deadly Confederate volleys from three sides. Captain Sutter recalled, "We occupied an advanced point on the left of the line, and without support our men fought gallantly and held them in check until the balls began to come into our backs." A wave of terror swept over the men in the 54th Pennsylvania once they realized their predicament. Captain Sutter continued, "I cannot describe my feelings when I saw that villainous line of dirty gray in our rear, yelling like devils, but I think every beat of my heart distinctly articulated Libby Prison." Like-minded men in the 54th Pennsylvania broke and headed towards the Valley Pike. At the start of the attack, Private Benjamin Cedar emerged from his tent on Company K's street and, peering through the dense fog, noticed some men wearing straw hats. He recalled, "I knew they were Rebs, and that was not the place for me. I needed no introduction to straw hats." Having spent 3 months in Libby Prison earlier in the war, Private Cedar stepped out lively, and being pretty small and the light being poor, I managed to get away and reach our own troops. Some of his comrades did not fare as well. Private Cedar later recalled, "Quite a few of my pals were trapped." Captain Albert Moulton added, "We were surprised in our camp. My young companion, the aide who had helped save the Bushhawk barn, was taken prisoner, with a number of others of my command. Private Henry Barnhart, in charge of one of the regiment's commissary wagons, attempted to escape with his wagon and team. Confederate fire felled one of the mules. Before Private Barnhart could cut the dead animal loose, Confederates captured him and continued to search through the camps. Others in the 54th Pennsylvania attempted to make a stand and gave ground very begrudgingly. Captain Sutter never gave the command to retreat. A portion of the regiment held their ground in a skirt of woods in the camp and disputed the advance of the enemy for a time. Despite the efforts of the small band, They could not hold out for long. The last of the men broke for the rear. The 54th Pennsylvania had no choice but to fall back, leaving behind scores of casualties. The survivors made their way towards the Valley Pike, which is now to our left rear. Thank you for watching this episode of In the Footsteps of the 54th.